their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Husker fans, this season, Nebraska is celebrating 50 years of Husker women's basketball, and they need you to help celebrate. You've shown up for women's hoops from the start and continue to prove that Nebraska fans really are the best in the nation. On Sunday, January 26th, the Huskers face Big Ten opponent Ohio State, and they're calling on all Husker fans to help pack PBA so they can celebrate 50 years of Husker women's hoops together. Get your tickets now and be a part of this historic season. For event and ticket information, go to huskers.com/tickets.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Shouldn't the landscape around your house reflect the architecture as well as the interior? Whether it's new construction or breathing life into an outdated landscape, let the teams at Tailored Landscapes, Tailored Lights, and Tailored Life combine as your local source for outdoor living. Schedule a meeting with one of our designers who listen during our consultations and combine your preferences, plus our experience to give you a timeless, sustainable, photo shoot-worthy landscape. Call us at 402-432-2572. Find us on any social media or at www.tailoredlandscapes.com, because when you find one company, you find the benefit of three.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker in one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome into the Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, if you guys want to join in, 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. You can put a face to the voice and the Allo VIP line graphic, Facebook, YouTube, X, Allo channel 961. If you got Allo cable, we got DeMornay Pierson-El, the host as always, on the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going? On another cold day. Not too bad, windy nonetheless.
It's going, closer day to the weekend, so can't complain.
Yeah, I'm really close. I'm off on Friday, so I only got one more day left, and I'm excited because we got some great games this weekend as well. We'll dive into it. We're going to start talking a little bit more NBA as well now that we're kind of wrapped up with college football. Obviously, still got NFL games, but the NBA is getting interesting. We're going to get to that point in the season in the NBA where all these teams are either going to start panicking, getting all these trades together to try to make one run, or just completely sell out and start trying to figure out how they're going to salvage this roster so they can rebuild it. But let's start off with Husker Hoops. They got a game tonight versus the up and down USC. I don't know what to make of this one. I'm a little bit nervous. I'll just start with that. Good morning, Pierson-El. How you feeling about this game versus USC? USC currently sitting at 11-7. Let me double check conference play. Conference play, they are 3-4. And again, Huskers 12-6, 2-5 in conference play. But USC is just up and down. So they beat Chattanooga, Idaho State, Arlington. They lose to California, San Jose State, Grambling to get 2 wins. Then they go on a 3-game losing streak. St. Mary's, New Mexico, Oregon. All those at home as well. Then they're on the road, Washington, back on the winning column. They beat Montana State. They beat Northridge. They beat Southern. Lose to Michigan. Lose to Indiana. Beat 13 Illinois on the road. Beat Iowa. Then lose to Wisconsin. I don't know. To me, it's just what version of the team are we going to get tonight? What are you expecting?
I'm expecting hopefully a win. You know, we need this one. You know, we lost some games that I don't think we should have lost. We were competitive, but it just wasn't enough. This is a game that you need to snap out of the things and kind of get things back to consistent basketball and their type of style of basketball. So regardless of what other team shows up, Nebraska needs to show up. Point blank and period. Let's not make it about them, more so about us. We take care of business and whatnot. We'll start stacking, more W's in the win column.
I like that because it's really, if you are Nebraska, you have to make it about you because you're still a good team. It's like you started off the year so hot, and then you get into conference play, and that Iowa loss on the road just sent you spiraling. Now, given 3 of the last 4 games they've lost, or excuse me, 4 of the last 3 games they've lost, but 3 of those were on the road. We know all the stuff about Big Ten road games. Like, no, it's not good. You would have hoped they at least steal one of them, especially considering you're going to have a road stretch in Oregon and Wisconsin, but you got to play Wisconsin and Illinois, Oregon, Washington. That's a brutal stretch right there. 3 of those being on the road again. You're kind of at this point in the season where there's plenty of ball left, but not as much as you think. And if you're going to keep dropping games here, you're not out of it, but it's just going to become a point where you're going to get yourself cornered and you're going to have to go off on a winning streak in conference play with some ranked opponents on the road left on your schedule and ranked opponents left at home on your schedule. So to me, it's just kind of it's a real big game. You got to break the streak. You're back at home, get back on the winning side at home. Any fear that this team is a little bit lost in sorts in terms of confidence?
No, I don't think confidence. I think they understand, who the ball has to go through, and maybe still trying to piece together how to get things involved. We don't have a one-sided guy that just there's particularly just strong on one side of the ball. We got a lot of guys that are fairly decent on both sides, and now they might have a better side versus offensive defense, but they have to play together holistically. And I don't think as of late, people have stepped up to do their part enough to secure a win. Now, whether that's knocking down free throws, whether that's a couple more steals in transition, whether that's a more, shot blocking, whether that's, offensive rebounding and second chance points, whatever it is, you need to strain a little bit more to favor things in our favor, because we've been right there. It's just we fell short. So with that being said, if you take care of, 1 or 2 things, and, it could be an 8-point win versus a 4 to 6 point loss.
Yeah. And this to me is a game where if you're Nebraska and you play really good defense, USC doesn't like to dig into their bench a whole lot. Going off some of their games, like in their last game versus Wisconsin, St. Thomas played 40 minutes, 7 for 11, 2 for 3 on the 3-point line, 3 for 4, 19 points, 3 turnovers, 3 assists, 2 steals, 4 rebounds as well. And then the rest of their starters, they had Cohen start only 4 minutes. I'm not sure if he got a technical or if that's just normally how they do it. But Rashawn actually comes in off the bench to play 30 minutes. Desmond gets 31. Yates, the third, gets 35. And their center, 3 for 11 on the night, he gets 39 minutes. So their starting lineup plays just about every single minute except for 2 bench players. So this to me feels like a game where if you're in Nebraska, play good defense, really grind it out. If does it almost help you if you let USC get into a little bit of a track meet in a game like this, knowing that's a team that doesn't really like to go to their bench a whole lot? Or do you stay with your brand?
You don't. I think stay with your brand necessarily. And USC, if you make them make the extra pass, make them, work for certain things harder and whatnot, I think you'll see them get tired around halfway through the second half of things, and then that's when you can kind of impose your will. If you want to make it a track meet there, it can get ugly fast.
One thing that is concerning about this game, and I do agree, I think this is a big game for, I don't care who it is, for any of the guards. You will Sam Hoiberg, it may be some of the wings, Bryce Holmes, Juwan Gary. This is a game for one of those guys to have a night in terms of just a lockdown. Like if Yates wants to play 40 minutes, or excuse me, St. Thomas wants to play 40 minutes, make every bucket brutal to get. I don't care if he has a somewhat decent night, but just make sure he's working for all those shots. So that way, when you get to the end of that second half, his legs aren't completely under him. And then one of the bigs, Andrew Morgan, potentially out for this one. I've been waiting for the report, seeing if he's going to be playing or not. How big is this? So again, we're talking about their center and their power forward. They're each playing 39 minutes for the center, 36 minutes for that power forward in those starting positions. Any concern with Andrew Morgan not possibly being there? Because this is a game, if those guys are going to play that many minutes, Braxton Mia, Andrew Morgan, you can kind of utilize both those guys, hopefully get them in foul trouble. But now you're in a situation where you're also a little bit thin at that center position if Morgan's not available.
It's a little bit concerning, but it's not anything I would feel like, it's a major blow. It goes back to, playing your game, getting Bryce started early and whatnot, attacking things and whatnot. Their bigs play a lot, so they're going to be tired. What big person or big man do you know that is in shape enough that can run that can continuously run? I can only really say it's about 3 or 4 of them.
I can say one, and it's ironic. Jokic, but he's a different breed.
You say that. I say Serge Ibaka. If you look at Serge Ibaka when he was with OKC, he was up and down the court. So neither one of their guys, their bigger guys, are like that for energy wise. So I think if you press on them and you lean on them hard, even if you get with foul trouble or something along the lines of that, you can watch that cookie crumble quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this, to me, that seems like a game, in particular, one of their guards, he likes to chuck up the threes. He's not very efficient at it, though. He's about 35% on the year. Like, let that guy shoot. At home, you maybe feel different, but if he's on the road and he wants to take, let's see, in this last game, he took 6 3-point shots and went 1 for 6. Let him shoot. This is a game, to me, I think, like, you let USC... I think you're right. Like, you stick to your guns. I don't know if USC is getting, like I said, they've been so streaky. You let them shoot. You do what you've been doing. I think you do really try to lock up inside. You keep trapping on the baselines the way you do on that low block, and you let them shoot. And until they start hitting shots, you don't change that defense. Because I do think with the brand they play, it's not very consistent. It's not like what Creighton, I shouldn't say Creighton because this year they're not that. But if you look at Creighton in years past, you never want to let them shoot because you knew they could always shoot. And if that guy's not hot, they got 3 other dudes on the bench that can come in and be that spark plug. USC, kind of somewhere in Nebraska in that case, where we have some really good shooters, but if they're not on, that offense becomes absolutely brutal to come by. And this feels potentially like one of those games tonight.
Well, shooters shoot. A wrong clock is right 2 times out of the day. So let's not get them situated and started. I wouldn't say necessarily let them shoot. Don't let them get into a rhythm. Make it, difficult, consistent. Make them, put the ball on the ground, give an extra pass up to kind of tire them out. They are a streaky team, so you don't want to get their confidence up high, I think, early, or give them enough confidence to where they feel comfortable or start trying things and everything like that. I won't say smother them, but make them, a bit uncomfortable to where they got to work for a bucket. And I think you do that holistically early in the second half. The second half of things, I think they will tire themselves out. If you kind of push them a little bit, not in a track meet type of way, but just making them exert themselves more than what they typically are doing.
Yeah, and when I say, like, let him shoot, I'm not saying, give him the red carpet. But I'm saying, like, you keep to that. Like, my fear is, like, Nebraska, and I don't think Fred Hoiberg would over panic. He's been through a lot here at the university, and I still think he's doing a good job with the program despite, this 4-game losing streak. This is a really tough place to be a good basketball program, and it's just reality. Like, you try to get a bunch of good hoopers to Nebraska. I still think there's high schools in Nebraska that don't have shot clock. Like, it's not the epicenter of hoops. So I always give a little bit of leeway for a program that hasn't won a March Madness game yet. But again, just kind of going back to this game, you force those tough shots. And again, like, just going through USC, their guys play so many minutes. In the previous game, all of them, once again, 38 minutes for the starter, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 37 minutes. And then the guy off the bench, they only played 2 guys off the bench versus Iowa. And they won that one by 10. So again, this is a game where it's just got to be good defense. You still keep trapping on the baseline, but you let them go look for those threes. Don't give it to them, but make them look for it. Yeah. And there's going to be times where if they run their offense at a really high level and they execute, they will be able to swing the ball and get it, or just skip past it, get to the soft corner for a quick 3. But Nebraska, they've been running this defense for a couple of years now. They're pretty good at rotating around it. And the only fear I have, it's when the team starts excelling getting downhill, that you saw a lot with Rutgers and their 2 players just constantly going downhill. That is when this team falls apart, is when we're trying to stop the downhill attack. We're getting burned there, considering our entire defense is predicated on trapping and really locking up the paint. And then it turns into the Texas A&M game of last year, where it's like, our strength is not working for us right now, but we're still connected to it. And as a result, they're also raining down threes on us because everything's just clicking for them right now. So this is a game where if you start out good defensively in that first half, that second half is going to be hard for them to come back. Even if they start getting some momentum, 40 minutes is a lot, especially on the road, especially coming from USC to Nebraska. It's the first time down there in Pinnacle, at the PBA, at the Vault. And I do think that's an environment that plays a major factor. Like, it's a little bit of a shock factor, I think, for schools coming to Nebraska. Like, obviously you can see the videos, but that place is loud. For anybody who's been inside the Vault for a program, again, that hasn't won a March Madness game yet, like, that place is electric. I will be curious to see what the level of interest is today, though. Are you expecting the crowd to still be pretty packed, sellout?
I mean, I think so. I mean, it's Nebraska. Nebraska fans are going to show out, through anything. And so it's a first let's see coming here. I think there's history with that, just, of the 2 universities going against each other in other sports and everything like that. So Nebraska fans are going to show up. There's no doubt in my mind about that at all.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have said sell. I don't think it'll be a sellout, but they will show out. Sellout's tough to do, especially on a Wednesday night, 8 p.m. tip off. But I will say it's been fun to watch, despite the tough road losses. PBA just continues to rock, and I do think the fan base really is kind of starting to believe in this Fred Hoiberg process. It can be tough at times. After the losses, you always hear a little bit of panic, but when you really look back at it, like, Nebraska's continuously, really for the last 3 years now, it's just getting better and better and better. And as long as they keep trending in that direction, I got no hesitation on keeping Hoiberg around. I got to ask you this, since we're speaking of coaches, though. Did you catch Dan Hurley's comments after the UConn game? After he was talking a little bit to the officiating.
I heard it was something. I didn't actually see it, but I seen a couple things on people criticizing him, but I didn't actually hear or know what he said.
Not great. So the camera catches him talking to a ref, and he says, "I'm the best damn coach in the league." This is not verbatim. It's pretty close, though. I don't want to completely misquote it. But basically tells him, "I'm the best coach in the league. Don't turn your back on me." The cameras caught it. I don't think it would have been anything too much. You see that with coaches all the time. But then in the press conference, his excuse was, "The cameras are always on me. They never catch the other coaches doing this stuff," which is just such a weird response. It wasn't like, "Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have said that." He was like, "Well, they don't show the other coaches. They always just show me." I'm like, well, it's kind of like,
he's letting his emotions get to the best of him. Not everyone can relate to that. Maybe not necessarily having your best moment when frustrated, mad, or upset about something, and you kind of point the finger instead of pointing the thumb. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It was a bad look and everything like that, but he's clearly very, very passionate about his job and certain things and whatnot. And that's something that we've seen over the years of him reacting to certain things. So, I'm not surprised by it, honestly. It's just one of them things. It's like, come on, man, just be politically correct and keep it moving.
Well, it's like a comment like that. It's like you what do you expect is going to happen? That's like the bully in the classroom saying, like, the teacher always looks at me. Yeah, it's totally not because you're the kid that's bullying everybody else that has reasons why you're getting looked at all the time. I was like, Dan Hurley, this is not the first time that you've been called out. It's one of those things, like, it's totally fine. You got the respect. Really, people know that you're a great coach at UConn. They might not agree with the way you coach, but the results speak for themselves. Like, it was just such a bizarre response. It's been a little bit bizarre for these press conferences in particular with the coaches. We talked about Cronin quite a bit too. We'll leave him alone for today because I actually don't completely disagree with everything he says over there at UCLA. Dan Hurley, though, UConn, not a good look. This one was just bizarre, unique statement from him. And it is one of the things, you look at UConn, maybe not to their standards, but they're sitting there 14-5, 6-2 in conference. Big East is a little bit down this year, but still, it's a good conference. You're 6-2 in conference play. You're 9-1 at home. Like, you're probably still going to be good to make a tournament run. So, like, you just got to keep the ship moving here. I will ask you this, though. Is there any team that's really sticking out right now in the college basketball world that you maybe weren't expecting? That's like, I don't know.
Auburn. I mean, they've been, they've been on a terror. I mean, I think it has to be them.
Yeah, I was going to throw those guys out there. You could say Bama, but you kind of expected that from Bama. Auburn, 17-1.
Bama has been
they've turned the corner.
Past couple of years. Yeah, they've been the last past couple of years. You knew, that they were knocking on the door. Bama has a seat at the table now. They just have to continue to follow things up. But that's not a shock to me. They have, I want to say, a lot of people that were on that team still returning back. So, I mean, what'd you expect?
Yeah, that's a good point. They did have a decent amount of returning players. Man, it's going to be crazy. We're in a time period now where it's much more likely that the Alabama Crimson Tide are more likely to win March Madness than they are to win the National College Football Championship. Or is that too soon? Do you got faith in DeBoer down the road to be right back in it next year? Because Alabama's right at the door.
I mean, I don't know if Alabama will be, getting back to the national championship. I mean, as close as they did and everything like that. I know they have a lot of players coming back, but it's not easy. It's March Madness for a reason. You got, people have their days and whatnot. Look at the team that was out of was it Chicago, I think, last year. With the kid that was a shooter, was a streaky shooter. They were knocking out people left and right. If you catch the wrong team at the wrong time, who says you're going to get back to the Elite Eight or the Final Four? So I think that's a bit bold statement. Alabama is still dominant in football, and we'll see what they are in basketball.
Yeah, that's a good one. The March Madness tournament run it's absolutely brutal. You see that all the time because, obviously you have all those Kentucky teams. You have the Zion team over there in Duke, and Zion. Yeah, they're going back. I'm just looking it up now. He had Wendell Carter Jr., Grayson Allen, Marvin Bagley III, Gary Trent Jr., Jordan Tucker, Trayvon Duval. That was your starting five. Or excuse me. And then you also... Oh, okay. That's my mistake. Those were the departures. This is not adding up here. You had Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, Trey Jones, RJ Barrett. See if there's any other NBA guys on this roster. No, just a bunch of other really good strong players, and then of course Trey Jones as well on that roster. And in a school like that with all this NBA talent doesn't go on. I think they even lost in that second round with Zion Williamson, if I'm not mistaken. And I think the kid you're talking about was Golke, for talking about that 3-point shooter that just lit up the world last year.
It went nuts. So I mean, there are those stories out there, and it's like you catch the wrong team that is hot. You know what I mean? It could be your night. And even as good as that Duke team was, you being better or dominant than other teams, at some point in time in March Madness, that runs out. And we've seen that time and time again. We could go back to how many teams with Kentucky that happened to. It happened to last year. It happened with John Wall and his class that was there. When Kentucky was on their run every other year, I
think they had Brandon Ingram and Karl Anthony Towns and it's one other guy I'm missing on the same roster at one point. And they didn't
Devin Booker,
go
if
for
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it might have been Devin Booker. Let me double check, but unreal
So,
to have those guys.
You know, so I mean, yeah, you can have a lot of talent, you can have all these superstars and whatnot, but at some point in time, you know, if you're not executing and doing the things right, you catch the wrong team. It could be the wrong team that day, and you going home, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it all. Let me just pull up this in 2015 Kentucky. I love just looking at all the Kentucky rosters, and it's always amazing that you think they'd just be racking up championships year after year. But okay, here we go. So you had Devin Booker, he was on there, Tyler Ulis, Karl Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein was on that roster as well. I forgot about him. Dominique Hawkins and Tyler Ulis is also on there. Aaron Harris, Marcus Lee, man. That is just incredible. I will say, though, it does feel like we're a little bit at the end of that road where you're just going to get these super loaded teams, because it seems what works now in March Madness, just not March Madness, in college basketball, is really just what every what all these amateur sports need to do down in college is anything you can do to keep continuity as high as possible. It seems to be the teams that have the most amount of success. Like, even if you look at Indiana football, yes, it's Indiana, yes, it's a new place, but Kurt Cignetti knew all those guys, and all those guys knew him, and they were veterans, and they followed him from James Madison. Like, there was that continuity there. You look at all the teams that are winning at March Madness that get to the Final Four, and a lot of times end up winning it all. It's continuity. You'll see a bunch of 5-4-year guys on those rosters, and I do think that's where schools like Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, as time went on, those schools started winning less and less. And then we talked to him earlier, Dan Hurley and UConn. Look at some of the stars on those teams over the year. They're not NBA superstar players. They're not the guys that are going to be drafted number 1 overall. You get those guys around, and yeah, some of them will go make NBA careers, but a lot of them stick around because college is kind of that best spot for them. And I do think that's going to be the strength. And again, as we wrap up this first segment, when you look at Auburn, I think they're getting a lot of that success as well, getting some of that continuity back. And then we talked about Alabama. Same thing. Continuity, especially in basketball, means a lot, usually leads to a lot of winning. We'll throw it to break here. On the other side, we'll switch it up. We're going to talk about the college football viewership ratings. Those officially came out. We'll get to know what the viewership was for Ohio State versus Notre Dame. How does it compare in years prior, and what is it looking like for the college football playoffs, and was this a major success or not? We'll throw it to break. Don't Pump Tower. Good morning, Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. Talk to you in a little bit.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services, as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of snow showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy in the high near 38. Tonight, a slight chance of snow early, otherwise partly cloudy with the low near 11. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies and a light breeze. High near 26. The meteorologist out at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello, I am Ayanna Blake. Welcome to Mind Your Mind. In this new chapter of our lives, let us focus on the things we can control. This week, I was passing by the television and overheard Mel Robbins talking about her newly released book titled The Let Them Theory. She said, the message with the Let Them Theory is that no matter what's going on outside of you, the power is always inside of you. She went on to say, the two words, let them, are the key to helping you see what's in your control and and what's not in your control. Let's take a brief second to acknowledge what we can control. You. We can't control others. We can't control their actions, beliefs, responses, or lack of. I encourage you to center yourself on things you can control and watch the gift of peace overtake you. I am Ayanna Blake, reminding you to mind your mind. For more inspiration, connect with me on social media or visit AyannaBlake.com. Until next time, take care of your mind and keep moving forward on your pathway to wellness. And remember, let them.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Ever wonder what it's like to work for a company that actually cares? At Lincoln Industries, they're revolutionizing local manufacturing while taking care of their most valuable asset, their people. When you join their team, you'll enjoy comprehensive health coverage, wellness initiatives that work around your life, and benefits that show they're serious about your future. Plus, you'll be a part of a proud manufacturing tradition right here in the community. Don't just take their word for it. Visit LincolnIndustries.com to see all their current opportunities and find out why their people love calling Lincoln Industries home.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln or their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe. Husker fans, this season, Nebraska is celebrating 50 years of Husker women's basketball, and they need you to help celebrate. You've shown up for women's hoops from the start and continue to prove that Nebraska fans really are the best in the nation. On Sunday, January 26th, the Huskers face Big Ten opponent Ohio State, and they're calling on all Husker fans to help pack PBA so they can celebrate 50 years of Husker women's hoops together. Get your tickets now and be a part of this historic season. For event and ticket information, go to huskers.com/tickets. Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk about trading up. Not what you're thinking. You could never trade her in, but you can trade up her stone if you like. Signify the growth of your love, the challenges you have overcome, or any part of your love journey by trading up her diamond. Whether it's been 5 years, 25 years, or 50, say it with a bling. Big love, big bling. We got you. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law Group and find out how we can help get you the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group. Trial attorneys you can trust.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and we wanted to give a special shout out to all of our great customers, thanking you all for a record-setting year in 2024. Now let's get the new year rolling with some big savings. Right now at Cobble, we have some of the biggest discounts in the area with over $12,000 off list price or 0% APR on select new models. So stop on in the dealership or hit us up online at cobblecars.com to get true low country overhead in action. $12,000 off list or 0% APR right now at Cobble. So please stop on in or visit us at cobblecars.com. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour segment number 2. Got about 10 minutes on this one. real quick, wanted to shout out, missed it on the first segment, but Britt Prince was named U.S. Basketball Writers Association Team of the Week, Freshman of the Week. So shout out to Britt Prince. We talked about it, I believe, yesterday. She had a great week behind her. Obviously, that Iowa overtime win, her sending it to OT was kind of the highlight of that, along with just some really good stats. Go ahead, projector there. So again, shout out the women's team on the basketball side of things, who they managed to turn things around. Hopefully the men can do the same. Again, they tip off at 8 o'clock. Round 10, likely it will get over if it doesn't go into overtime. And at the end of that one, you will have me and Austin Orman will do the post-game show for you guys. We'll keep it rolling until the comments start dropping. All right, so let's continue moving on here. I do want to talk about some of these ratings. Good morning, Pierson-El. What do you think? And I'll kind of give you some numbers so you can get the ballpark. How well do you think this year's college football championship did in terms of viewership? And the best one in the last 10 years was Ohio State versus Oregon, the first year of the college football playoff that drew in 34.1 million for that national championship game.
I'd probably say it was over that.
Not over. It was under.
Really?
Let me give you the next biggest one. So the record was 34.1. 2017, this is the second biggest, 28.4. You got another guess?
Nah, you got me nervous now.
All right, number 3, 2014, a semifinal game, college football playoffs. It was Ohio State
Alabama
versus Bama. Yep, got it. 2014. And again, these are all in order. And this is just the most watched college football games. Doesn't necessarily have to be the championship game, but they're all semifinal championship games, as you can imagine why most eyes would be on it. So again, this is all in order. 2014 was Ohio State, Oregon, 34.1. 2017, Bama, Georgia, 28.4. 2014, Ohio State versus Bama. I'm going to stop reading the numbers because we got a ways to go tomorrow. 2014, Oregon versus Florida State, semifinal. 2023, Michigan versus Alabama, semifinal. 2017, Georgia versus Oklahoma, semifinal. We're down to 26.9 million views. You go down to 2015, Alabama versus Clemson. 2019, LSU versus Clemson. 2018, 2016, 2023, 2021, 2022. Now we're at 2024. So they do sneak in there. They do sneak in there as the most watched games in that 10-year run. But the national championship this year was only 22.1 million between Ohio State and Notre Dame. In the quarterfinal game, Ohio State versus Oregon was actually the other game that snuck in here. None of the other playoff matches were close. Ohio State versus Oregon, though, that quarterfinal did get 21.1 million. So what's your thoughts on that? Like, you are getting more games. So if you add up all the numbers, the viewership's probably actually up. But the national championship game actually seemed to lost a little bit of interest on this one.
Which is actually shocking when you got two, blue bloods actually playing, and it was actually a pretty good game.
I thought Ohio State and Notre Dame were going to be massive numbers. That's why I want to talk about this today. That seems like that's two blue bloods that, and maybe it's not going to rival Michigan and Bama or, some of the years you've had in the past, but that's pretty low for everything I was considering.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm not sure what the not interest is, because nothing else was going on that Monday. Like it was, that's what it was.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know if it was just too late. If you would have moved it at 6 o'clock, would it have been better? Would you got a couple extra 10 to 15 million more views in there? I don't know.
I wonder if it just gets so dragged out with the college football playoffs that like the fair weather fans that just root for their team, after so long, they're just kind of done watching football.
That could be that could be it, but still, that college football fans are college football fans, so it's I don't know. Like I said, because the game started at 8 o'clock?
Yeah, and it's a Monday, which always sucks. That's the other thing. Yeah, so it's got to be the worst sports tradition ever.
Yeah, I think if they moved that to 7:30, 7, I think you get a couple more. But because it was 8 o'clock, and the game was on the East Coast, if I'm not mistaken, right? It was in Atlanta, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So the East Coast people, they tired of everything. It is. I just think maybe because it was a late game. I think that's the only thing that makes logical sense. Because I mean, they did a good job, and Ohio State. I mean, it's not like it was like Texas and Georgia. Like you had two teams that actually like went through some stuff. They went through some quality teams to get there, and for that to kind of not turn out better than what I would expect is actually shocking.
Yeah, especially for the first year, because that's the thing you notice with 2014, right? 2014 is the most watched in the last 10 years. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. All those the first year of the BCS, or excuse me, getting rid of the BCS and just going to the college football playoffs. And then for some reason, I thought this one, because again, you're breaking it out. It's a bracket. Brackets always seem to work really well. I thought this would have the same kind of pop. And again, it's not, college football isn't worried about losing a bunch of money in their audience, but it probably is still a little bit less than they want. And it does make me wonder, like, what happens if you do get a year like this thing blew up in their face and they end up with, and this is no slight to these teams, I would have been happy to watch it, but in Arizona State versus SMU, then what does it look like? Because a lot of people will watch because it's fun and unique, but those diehard blue bloods have such big fan bases that they're so big that you get all the fair weather fans also watching those games as well. Like the Arizona State, the SMU, like they're not going to have as many of those fair weather fans that are going to go ahead and tune in. Like they'll maybe check the box score later, but I don't know, I'm just very surprised by it. But that being said, they make the right choice with this college football playoffs. Like, is this anything to even sweat over, considering you probably did still get more viewership with those other games?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to get bigger and bigger each and every year. This is the first kind of run and filling it out and whatnot. I think next year they'll make a lot of changes with advertisement, with everything. You know, it won't necessarily be the same. I think they'll try and make the experience better. I
think you're probably right as well. Like, football just grows every year, it feels like. So I'm not going to definitely say it's going down. I mean, it's like they'll tweak it. I think they will make some improvements. I do still think like 8 teams is, the more we do this, the more I'm like, 12 might be too much. Maybe you go with 8, just small tweaks. But actually, first year on paper, it was maybe a little bit shaky. The actual result was good. The viewership a little bit surprising. But like I said, really nothing too much to sweat over. One more thing I want to talk about, and then we'll throw it to break. Some more sad news. We got another Division II program completely cut all their athletics. They just can't afford it.
Man.
University of Samoa just cut all of their D2 athletics. So again, it just kind of sucks to see, because we're going to see more and more. I'm blanking on the college that just dropped all of their athletics. There's a hockey team, and I believe they dropped all of their men's side, maybe even the whole thing as well. It's just kind of alarming to see these D2 schools folding, and it's not their fault. Like, it's just impossible task for these guys to support all of these athletics when they're not getting the funding, and now you got to compete with NIL, and then you're just going to get the best athletes constantly leaving. It's going to be almost impossible to recruit players, even at a D2 school now. Like, that's the thing. Everyone always just thinks D1. Like, D2 schools are shutting down because it's going to trickle down. I don't know how NIL schools are doing it. I don't know how D3 schools are doing it. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, there goes another.
You know, it's sad because these kids, you know, I don't know if they got scholarships, and some might have got scholarships, but you were furthering yourself. You were bettering, you know, yourself individually, you know, with getting the degree, chasing a profession, finding something that you love, that, you know, sports may have gotten you to that door. And for that to be, you know, stripped away from you, you know, that's losing a piece of your identity. And that's never an easy thing to do. You know, some people might not be paying for school. You know, some people, you know, school was paying them to go and everything like that. So it's sad to see stuff like that. And, you know, I don't know how you kind of recover or bounce back, but, you know, something needs to be necessarily done to, you know, make sure that kids aren't losing the opportunity to go to school and to get a degree and to, you know, pursue a different career. The sports is one thing, but the fact that you can't further your education and put yourself in a better position, maybe, you know, you're in class and you're meeting some people that are going to be CEOs or going to run their own business and everything like that. So, you know, playing sports puts you in those type of environments. So it's just sad to see, you know, that's not what some things might be for, you know, a lot of people are off of the Power 5 level.
Yeah, and it's just going to take time, and unfortunately, because so many pieces move so fast, like we're going to see more dominoes fall, and like schools aren't going to be able to adjust in time, and you're still going to have the bigger schools tampering, picking out of their pockets for the best athletes. It's just tough in the era of NIL. Like I wouldn't want to have a D2 university known for their athletics, because I'd be sweating like crazy in the office knowing that's the school I got to run, knowing where all the money's going. It's not going downhill, it's going uphill, and I got a university known for athletics. We're going to have to switch this up into a law school.
Maybe there needs to be a rule. If a kid leaves and gets plugged to a bigger school, maybe the bigger school should pay the smaller school for some type of, hardship or something.
That's not bad. Hey, that's not bad. I don't know how you get that into paperwork, but like it almost is like, hey, if you're gonna just like, it'd be like the Bulls being like, man, Giannis is really good, and I know the Bucks don't have as much money. I'm just gonna go over there and see if he wants to come over here and like get the paperwork. I'll throw him a few bags. Bucks got nothing to do that can stop me. They don't like. It's just kind of what they have to deal with. Like there's nothing stopping bigger schools with more money. Little obstacles in the way for them to make their pitch. Especially the tampering stuff that is illegal is so hard to track now as well, that you just don't know how much information these guys are getting.
I think that would stop, the big schools from coming in and picking it, because they're not going to want to pay, a service fee. I mean, that's what it is.
They'd certainly be a little more careful about it, right? Because that is another problem, is you'll see bigger schools just wipe out smaller schools, like just, this school will come in, they'll grab a player, another school, they'll grab two more, another school. And by the end of it, it's like, there goes my starting class. Now you're working on 11 new starters for the offense, 6 more for the defense, because all your best players got taken away. If it's one of those things where they actually got to pay some money, they'll be like, I'm not entirely sold yet on this guy. So, yeah, we have the money for it, but there's money on top of the money we have to play just to get this guy. We'll let him keep staying here. And, eventually down the road, they might spend the money and go ahead and pluck him, but at least the university can get their track school or their track team some new uniforms. Like, it's just sad that that's kind of where we're at with some of these universities. The point where they're not even worried about uniforms, they're just worried about keeping the doors open and being able to hand out those scholarships. All right, we'll throw it to break. Don't go anywhere. We've got one more segment on the other side. We'll talk a little bit NFL. See you guys in a little bit.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to hear their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call John Henry's at 402-435-5555 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-435-5555.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln or their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. See Home Club for details.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, Don't Punt Hour. Here's the ones and twos. As always, wrapping up the show, we talked Husker Hoops. Again, me and Austin Norman will join you for the post-game post-up. As soon as the clock hits 0, they're facing USC at home tonight. We switched it over, and we also talked about some unfortunate news. We got Sonoma D2 school just completely shutting down their athletics due to the pressure of the constant NIL and just the bigger schools, the more money it costs to run these athletic departments anymore. And it is Sonoma. I had to correct that. I think I might have said Samoa once. That's not even the U.S. Yes, Sonoma, not Samoa. That is the D2 school. Yeah, I think I said Samoa on that first one. I'm like, I knew that didn't sound right. Yeah, no, it's not. That's not even in the U.S., so we don't got to worry about that one. But unfortunately, Sonoma is shutting down their athletics. All right, good morning, Pierson-El. I'm going to give you some options because we don't got a ton of time, and I got like 3 things left on my mind. We got the Matt Rule comments, the Paul Feinbaum. Snarky, I liked it. Keep the receipts. Wasn't sure he was that guy.
I'm all for the pettiness. I'm real petty. I like it.
It was funny. It cracked me up. We also got Jimmy Butler, maybe to the Suns. Which one you want?
You can go, Jimmy.
All right, Jimmy Butler. The real question is like, if you're the Miami Heat, do you just do it? Do you just cave in? Because Jimmy Butler, every locker room he's had, whether it's his fault or not his fault, you can decide. I don't care. His time seems to expire. Where the guy, the team chemistry, if it's his fault or not his fault, you can decide. It does seem to expire everywhere he goes. So if you're the Miami Heat, what's the move?
I don't think he's expired with the team. I think him and Pat Riley are into it. I mean, and Pat, if you focus on other things than trying to get back to the Eastern Conference Championship or the finals, man, it is what it is. Get back to business. Like you're letting your get to you. I'll show you who's better, or it's a pissing contest. Let it ride. Trade him out there. Get some picks for him. Revamp your team, and I guess prove how great, show how greatness and how you corrected the ship. But I mean, you're not hurting nobody but the Miami Heat organization.
Exactly. You're at the point, Jimmy, and this is the weird. He is one of those unique players. The right way to handle Jimmy Butler is you just go ahead and let him prove you wrong. Because if you keep him, it's just not going to happen there. And I might be too wrong on this, but he seems to me like one of those guys, when he's made his mind up at all of these previous stops, it's over. It's not been.
That's what it is.
Yeah, he's never had after it's been like this, it's never turned around to him started playing like, you know what, I'm locked back in. He plays great basketball, Goins championship. He had that year with Spo, but that was early in the year when him and Spo were going back and forth, and they hashed it out early. It didn't drag out. This one's been dragging out. And it does feel like some of the team's frustrated. It does feel like Spo's had his moments with Jimmy Butler. Multiple coaches have had. Our coach here who's coaching tonight has had moments with Jimmy Butler. So it goes around. I think you just bite the bullet. Like Jimmy Butler, you're going to look foolish if he goes out there and has really good success, say, with the Phoenix Suns. But I can promise you're not going to get that same version of Jimmy, even if you keep him at the Heat. So that's why I think you just go ahead and get rid of him. Wish him best of luck. He definitely did a lot for it. It's not like one of those things where you burn his jersey. Awesome player for the Miami Heat and definitely carried them to some relevance over these last few years. But I do think that's the direction if you need to take if you're Miami Heat. What's the best spot for him, though? Is it the Phoenix Suns? That's clearly where he wants to go. He's wearing the orange shoes and all that stuff. He's really seems like he's pushing for it.
I think so. I mean, Bradley Beal has to go. It's just not working. And if Phoenix, if you want to, fix it or right the ship or whatnot, I mean, why not bring a superstar like Jimmy in that his style of play is different than, some of the other guys. Yes, Jimmy's going to have to touch the ball and everything like that. But even if you bring him off the bench and everything like that, I feel like he's not a fresh new start. He'll do what is asked of him to get the job done. Now, once he gets himself established or feels like you've done wrong by him or something, that's a different thing. But I think you get Bradley Beal, to the Heat. That makes the most sense because whatever they got out there in Phoenix ain't been working since they let Chris Paul go and the coach go. So something's got to give.
Yeah, and I like that too because Bradley Beal is such a wasted talent in Phoenix. Last year, his numbers were awesome. I think he finished the year shooting just at or just over 40% from three, which is phenomenal. Unfortunately, you got Devin Booker, Kevin Durant a little bit in and out, but it's just not like a team where he's going to be fully utilized despite having one of his best shooting seasons. Maybe some of that he's getting more open looks because he got superstars, but it's just clearly capable that he's still got it. And it's just, again, with that roster, it's not working. You're not winning a lot of ball games. So again, I think that is the move. I think sometimes both teams can win. That's one of those trades. Again, Miami Heat, I think it's over with Jimmy Butler. Try to drag it out. Don't think it's going to go well for you. But that being said, we'll go ahead, wrap things up here. Good morning, Pierson-El. Appreciate the time as always. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow.